Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening and welcome to the National News broadcast, bringing to you live from the National News Studios here at Rupavahini. We are ready to bring you the top stories here at home and around the world. I am Charita Minipurarachi.
And I'm Kasni Balachandra Adhikari. We start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Many areas in the island have received heavy rains today as well. President says a country cannot be taken forward only with rules and regulations. China has agreed to provide school uniform materials free of charge for the next year as well. The Minister of Education has focused attention on the sanitary problems of female school students. The USA extends continuous support for the development of health and mass media sectors. People have the opportunity from today to name the lion cubs born in the Ridhi Safari Park. 10 killed and 35 injured in an Israel attack targeted at Jenin area in Palestine.
And we move on to those and other stories in detail. And in our top local story tonight, the Department of Meteorology says that heavy rainfall of about 75 millimeters is expected in Uva and southern provinces, as well as in certain areas of Ampara and Batticaloa districts.
And also there may be showers or thunderstorms during the night in other parts of the island. Senior geologist Dr. Vasanta Senadhira said that a fall of boulders near the 44 1-mile post along the Kandy Mahayangane main road due to recent heavy rains is reported. He said that upon the occurring of this incident, it has been decided to close the road from 6 p.m. to 6 a.m. He added that some boulders located at the place high over 500 meters are still there at their vulnerable fall on the road. He said that these boulders may fall at any time in the coming days. He also said that therefore the National Building and Research Organization has recommended remaining the road closed. Removal of rocks across the Valapani Padiyapalala to Kandy Road began today. Large number of rocks have fallen to the road at the Malpatawata Old Rock Quarry. Two sluice gates of Dangamu Reservoir have been opened, releasing 644 cubic feet of water per second into the Kala oil tank. Rajangane Irrigation Office says that 8 sluice gates of the Rajangane Reservoir have been opened, releasing 5,700 cubic feet of water per second of water into the Kala oil tank. Regional Irrigation Engineer Chintaka Suravira says that all sluice gates of the Kantale Reservoir were opened this morning. Each sluice gate has opened by a foot, releasing 2,000 cubic feet of water per second into the Van Ella. The Giritale Reservoir continues to release water due to high inflow from surrounding regions. About 200 cubic feet of water per second flows to the Binneru tank through the Tibiri Ella channel. The Irrigation Department has advised surrounding neighborhoods to be vigilant. 4 tanks in the Vavuniya district have been damaged due to the heavy rainfall. Our correspondent reported that the Palugasweva Aliyan Senchikulam, Periyapuliyankulam and Penerindran tanks were damaged accordingly. The Disaster Management Centre says that 73 other tanks are in a critical stage. With reduced rainfall, all sluice gates of the Barakrab Reservoir have been closed as the water level has been decreased. 2.5 feet of each from the flying sluice gates of the Ingniagala and Setanaka reservoirs have been opened due to the rising water levels. It releases 2,380 cubic feet of water per second, and Regional Irrigation Director says that floods may occur in the areas of Irankaban, Adachile, Alayadibev and Akure Pattu if the rain continues.
President Andrew Kumar Dissanayake stresses that a country cannot go forward only with rules and regulations, and in the same manner traditions of a country is also important for swift functioning of a country. The President made these remarks at a discussion held in the President's office today with regards to the holding of the state festival for the 74th Higher Ordinance of Ceremony of Sri Lanka Ramanya Mahanikaya. The state festival with regards to higher ordination ceremony of Sri Lanka-China Mahanikaya is to be held from the 30th of June up until the 5th of July at the Palugasveva Punya Varadanarama temple in Vijayapura. The religious observances with regards to higher ordination of over 250 Samanera bhikkhus will be held at the special Seema Malaka surrounded by water. This festival will be held once in 2 years under state patronage. The President instructed the officials to provide required facilities for this religious event. The Mahasangha, including Mahanayaka Thero of Sri Lanka-China Mahanikaya, Most Venerable Makulave Vimala Thero, some ministers and parliamentarians were also present at this occasion.
The Chinese government has agreed to provide uniform materials for Sri Lankan school students free of charge for the next year as well. At a media briefing held today, Minister Vijay Herath says that 15 agreements that are economically fruitful for Sri Lanka, including the granting of uniform materials, were signed during the President's China tour. Minister Vijay Herath said that the Chinese government has pledged the support to pre-fund free uniform materials for school students and prevent students for the year 2026. He said that this amounts to a total of 600 million rupees. He added that China has granted Sri Lanka with 500 million yuan, which is approximately 20 billion rupees. He also said that the two countries has also signed an agreement to promote Sri Lanka tourism industry. He further said that the two countries have signed an agreement to open Sri Lankan tourism industry for Chinese citizens as well. Minister Vijay Herath said that it was signed by the Sri Lankan Tourism Development Authority and Chinese media institutions. He said that another agreement that has been signed to build oil refinery in Hambantota. He added that this will bring more foreign reservoirs to the island. He also said that the construction of the oil refinery will create more employment opportunities. He further said that Sri Lanka state media institutions, Government Information Department, Minister of Mass Media and the Chinese State Media Organization have signed 5 agreements. Minister Herath said that the respondents of visits to China has strengthened the ties between the two nations and increased the economic cooperation further. He said that Sri Lanka hopes to strengthen ties with the USA, Russia, India, China and other nations as well to have more economic benefits. And meanwhile, the case regarding the financial fraud of 70 million rupees in leasing 4.3 acres of lands at Krishnan's Work Square in Colombo was resummoned today at the Colombo Magistrates Court. Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa, who is one of the suspects of the case and now on bail, also appeared before the courts. The investigation officers informed the courts that the Bribery Commission has started a separate investigation against Parliamentarian Namal Rajapaksa with regard to this incident. The fourth magistrate informed the case filed by the CID against him to be summoned on the 4th of June for the guidance of the Attorney General. Unless the Attorney General's guidance is received before that day, the court ordered to issue notice. The Supreme Court today ordered to consider the request made to release former Controller of Immigration and Immigration Harsha Ilukpitir on the 17th of this month. Lawyers appeared for the respondent have submitted these bail petitions. These petitions were considered today before 3-member panel of Supreme Court judges named Justice A.H.M.D. Nawaz, Justice Achula Vegapalli and Justice Priyantha Fernando. At this occasion, Judge Priyantha Fernando stated that he will not take part in this case.
Now, many pieces of information was reported during the past few days regarding houses, vehicles and property without owners. And political analysts point out that such incidents of misusing public funds should be investigated with immediate effect. The Criminal Investigation Department says that statesmen have been recorded from several parties regarding the construction of a house at a reservation in Kathragama. Former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa was also questioned recently in this regard. This house has been constructed close to the Manik River in Kathragama. The CID has questioned former President Gotabaya Rajapaksa on the 17th of this month for about 2 hours regarding this matter. Earlier, the CID has recorded statements from former President Mahinda Rajapaksa and his former Chief Security Officer Neville Vaniarachi. Meanwhile, Basil Rajapaksa and Thirukumar Nadesan were alleged of a purchasing of a 16-acre land from Malvana and constructing a house there. A case was also heard regarding this matter.
And the Deputy Minister Attorney at Law Sunil Vatakala says that the present government has taken measures to establish a police department without political influence. He made these remarks joining the debate in Parliament today on the Clean Sri Lanka project. Deputy Minister Attorney at Law Sunil Vatakala recalled the way the police department acted in the past. He said that the first time in history the government has allowed the police to act without political influence. He added that former IGP C.D. Vikramaratne had said that there were about 250 political appointments during his tenure. He further said that today the police department is able to act independently in a manner without bowing its head to politicians. He also said that during the past 9 days from January 12 to the 20th, over 5,000 kilograms of illegal drugs, including heroin, cannabis and many other varieties have been seized. Minister Bimal Ratnayaka said that Rajapaksa's and Ranil Wickremesinghe's regime have robbed public funds enormously. He said that Rajapaksha family has occupied 3 major official residences in the country. He added that it has been estimated that the Mahinda Rajapaksa's residence monthly rental is about 4.5 million rupees per month. He also said that Mahinda Rajapaksa can pay this amount or get his allowance and stay in the residence or take the allowance of 30,000 rupees and live it.
Now, the fact check feature today is about importing 200 million coconuts. The national newspapers and some social media websites have reported today that the government has requested the permission to import 200 million coconuts. The national television made an inquiry from Deputy Minister Chaturanga Besinga in this connection. Deputy Minister Chaturanga Besinga said that this is incorrect and it should be clarified, and he said that stakeholders of the coconut and allied industries made a request to import coconut milk and kernel required for their export producers. He added that this has been mistaken as the government is to import coconuts. A discussion aimed at solving the sanitary problems of female school students over grade 6 in Sri Lankan schools was held today under the patronage of Prime Minister Dr. Harini Amarasuriya. The Prime Minister has focused her attention towards the sanitary problems faced by female school students over grade 6. Director of the Health and Nutrition Division of the Education Ministry, Deputy Director of the Sri Lanka Standardization Institute and representatives of 4 companies that produce qualified sanitary towels under the certification of Standardization Institute were also present at this discussion.
And meanwhile, Lanka-China has reduced the prices of 10 essential commodities. Consumers can purchase these items for the new prices from Santosa retail outlets from today. The price reduction has been implemented with the aim of providing relief to the general public under the guidance of the Ministry of Trade, Commerce and Food Security. Accordingly, the price of cashew nuts has been reduced by 100 rupees per kilogram and the new price is 995 rupees. The price of brown sugar has been reduced by 40 rupees per kilogram and the new price is 300 rupees. The new price of imported potatoes is 180 rupees and is a reduction of 30 rupees per kilogram. The price of red cowpea have also been reduced by 30 rupees per kilogram and the new price is 765 rupees. The price of sprouts has been reduced by 20 rupees, making it 940 rupees per kilogram. The new price of dried chili is 830 rupees after the reduction of 15 rupees per kilogram. The price of basmati rice has been reduced by 10 rupees per kilogram with the new price set at 645 rupees. The price of big onions has also been reduced by 10 rupees per kilogram and the new price is 230 rupees. Accordingly, the prices of dal and white sugar have been reduced by 2 rupees per kilogram with the new prices set at 288 rupees and 240 rupees per kilogram respectively. Moving ahead with more local stories, and the 6 lion cubs born in Ridhigama Safari Park 3 months ago will be ready for exposition to the public from the 4th of February this year.
The general public have the opportunity to suggest suitable names for these cubs from today. These cubs are born to lioness Dora and Lara. Among them, there's only one male cub. According to the veterinary doctors of the park, all 6 cubs are in good health. The US ambassador in Sri Lanka, Julie Chung, says that the US is continuously extending its support for the promotion of health and mass media sectors in Sri Lanka.
She made these remarks when she met Minister Dr. Nalindra Jatisa at his ministry last evening. The minister informed the ambassador regarding the government's program to strengthen primary health services in the country. They also discussed the development of tourism industry, connecting the health service and local indigenous medicine sectors. Measures that have been taken to ease the shortage of medicines was also discussed, and the US ambassador, expressing her satisfaction towards the Clean Sri Lanka program, specifically commended the health service in Sri Lanka. Secretary to the ministry, consultant Dr. Anil also participated in this discussion. And the senior singer Anil Bhareti passed away today. He was 75 years at the time of his demise. He was undergoing treatment in the Panadura hospital for an illness when he passed away this afternoon. It is significant that many of his songs are Christmas songs, and out of them, the songs Bethlehem Pule Dilindu Kavaline is very famous among the fans. The final rites of late Anil Bhareti will be informed later.
A ceremony was held at the Film Corporation's Tarangani Cinema Hall to mark the 78th anniversary of Sri Lankan sound film industry and the 53rd anniversary of the National Film Corporation. The ceremony was held under the patronage of Minister Dr. Hinduma Sunil Sinave, Deputy Minister Gamagathira Dissanayake, and many artists were present at this occasion. The founder of the National Film Corporation, late Prime Minister Sirima Bandaranaike, was also commemorated at this event. 2 senior officials of the corporation was also felicitated with awards. Dr. Sinesh Dissanayake Bandara delivered the keynote address, and Ravindra Randaniya, Vasanthi Chadrani and Priyankara Pereira were also awarded for their contribution rendered to the Sri Lankan film industry. In line with this occasion, a documentary produced by Namal Prasanna on the history of Sri Lankan film industry and the periodical of the Film Corporation titled Chitrapata were also launched at this occasion. Minister Dr. Hinduma Sunil Sinave said that it is reported in the Hansa that Anil Dissanayake, as a parliamentarian, had pointed out many unsolved problems regarding the film industry. He said that the answers given by the then media minister are also included in the Hansard, and he added that at that time, as opposition parliamentarians, they questioned regarding the problem of the film industry, and now that there's no need to demand. He also said that the new government has been elected for this purpose, and that therefore all relevant stakeholders are cordially invited to unite and discuss the problems to solve them one by one. The construction of the Kurinchakani Bridge in Trincomalee has recommenced.
More than 100,000 residents will be facilitated from this project. The agreement to the construction of the bridge was signed recently between the Secretary of the Finance Ministry, Mahinda Sirivardhana, and the Director of the Saudi Fund for Development, Abdullah. The allocation for the project of the bridge is estimated at $10.5 billion. The remaining funds from the Peradiri Badul Chenkeladi Road Development Project have been allocated for this project. Constructing the bridge is expected to resolve many transportation difficulties in the area.
And here's a few more local news items in brief. Talatoya police has arrested a person who had cheated money from some people promising employment opportunities in Italy and Romania. This arrest was made following an investigation conducted under the complaint lodged by a resident in Milapitia. It has been revealed that the suspect has accumulated nearly 9 million rupees from various persons. The Consumer Affairs Authority says that legal actions have been taken against 20 businessmen in Matara district who have sold rice at high prices. The suspects were nabbed under a special search operation conducted yesterday, and a container with 500 bags of rice which have been brought to to be sold at higher prices has also been taken into authorities' custody. The special operation was conducted in many areas. The primary section of the Colombo DS Senanaika College has become the first primary section of a government school that has won 5S International Productive Certification. It won this certificate at the awarding ceremony held yesterday at Sri Lanka Productivity Secretariat. The aim of the college is to bring the entire school under the 5S International Productive Certification. A pharmacy owner in Hatton who had sold medicine prescribed for mental patients without proper prescription was taken into custody by the police special task force in Talawakale. This raid was conducted jointly with Nuwara District Food and Drug Control Unit under the information received, and the police says that the racket has been conducted for a long period of time. 4 persons who were engaged in illegal gem mining in Hatton River have been taken into custody by the Hatton police. This raid was conducted under an information received by the police that there's a heavy environmental damage caused to the Hatton River by digging deep pits using machinery. An exhibition of old and current coins belonging to 78 countries, including Sri Lanka, was held recently at the residence of L. Selvanathan at Mathuagala in Kiriyala, Ratnapula. He has collected about 6,000 coins for a period of 40 years. These coins belong to the period from 1746 to 2024. Coins from USA, Ethiopia, in Africa and many other countries of Europe and Asia have been included in this exhibition. 2 persons who had stolen 4 ancient god statues have been taken into custody by the Kalathura Police Crime Division. The suspects are residents from Pathegam in Gaul and Gampol in Kandy. Foreign news right after this break. Welcome back, and here's a look at tonight's foreign news.
At least 10 Palestinians have been killed and nearly 40 injured by Israeli forces during a major operation in Jenin area in the occupied West Bank, in the Palestinian Health Ministry says. Palestinian media reported that on Tuesday there were several airstrikes as a large number of troops entered the city and the refugee camp backed by drones, helicopters and armored bulldozers. Israeli Prime Minister said that it launched an extensive and significant operation to defeat terrorism in Jenin, long seen as a stronghold of Palestinian armed groups. It comes 3 days after the start of a ceasefire in Gaza and highlights the threat of more violence in the West Bank, where suspected Israeli settlers also went on rampage on Monday night. Palestinian security personnel reported withdrew from some of their positions around Jenin refugee camp before the Israeli forces moved in. The official Palestinian news agency Wafa later cited local sources as saying that Israeli forces were completely besieging Jenin camp.
Dozens of other Palestinians have been injured.
Indonesian rescuers have recovered the bodies of at least 17 people who were swept away in flash floods or buried under tons of mud and rocks that hit hilly villages on country's main island of Java, with 8 other people still missing. Torrential rains has caused rivers to burst their banks, tearing through 9 villages of central Java province as mud, rocks and trees tumbled down on mountain sides. Rescue workers by Tuesday had recovered at least 17 and were searching for 8 villagers who were reported missing. 11 injured people managed to escape and were rushed to nearby hospitals. Television reports showed police, soldiers and rescue workers using excavators, farm equipment and their bare hands to search through the rubble in devastated villages. Others carried victims on bamboo stretchers or in body bags to ambulances or trucks. Bad weather, mudslides and rugged terrain hampered the rescue operation. And in your sports news tonight, New Zealand won the match against Samoa in the Under-19 Women's T20 World Cup by 67 runs.
And the tournament is being played in Malaysia. Due to rain, an innings of the match was limited to 17 overs. Batting first, New Zealand scored 107 runs for 9 wickets in their 19 overs. Eva Wallen scored 48 runs, and in replace, Bowa could score only 40 runs for all out in 14.2 overs.
Another one for Lamola, this time much.
Time the finger goes up.
In the air and safely taken, but
and this makes it 2-2. New Zealand have their win. New Zealand get 2 points.
In this tournament, Bangladesh won today's match against Scotland by 17 runs. In batting first, Bangladesh scored 120 runs for 9 wickets in their 20 overs. In reply, Scotland could only score 103 runs for 8 wickets.
Full toss, take it. Now full toss, where's this gone? It's in the...
And with that, we conclude tonight news. Do just tomorrow at the very same time. I'm Charita, signing off with Kasuni. Stay safe. Good night.
Good night.